Hello Libra, welcome to your December 2019 tarot card reading. Thanks so much for being here. So let's dive into your energy, specifically Libra, which is a card of Libra actually. All right, Queen of Swords, we love. She's intelligent, she's diplomatic, she's gracious, and she has this ability to listen. But I don't really see Libra wanting to listen very much right now. In all honesty, I think the only time Libra is interested in listening is to listen to an explanation, to hear if it's like good enough, right? There's a lot of things happening. Although this fourth house Capricorn stuff is really hitting Libra in the feels. As a Libran ascendant, I can attest to the reality of that, right? It's just like short tempers and really there's no controlling. Like the pot is boiling and you can try to put a lid on it, but then that lid's just going to fly off. So you might as well just let it evaporate, right? So I sense that there is this evaporative nature that's happening, which is why maybe some emotions are like getting really intense right now. And probably the reason why there was someone in your environment, because your environment card is an emperor, which could be a person, okay? And I swear this person is really good at triggering a Queen of Swords, an emperor, because look, he's not looking at her. He doesn't seem interested in talking to her. And I'm not talking about this in just a romantic context, okay? And the emperor doesn't have to be a person. It can be a situation that doesn't really seem to want to give. It doesn't want to seem to work out. It doesn't want to seem to, be anything other than what it's just happy being. But if it is a person, this person is really going to fire you up. And I think here you are. Like I said, you don't really want to talk, you don't really want to listen. I think actually probably more you want to talk and give your side of things, but also like if this person's going to talk, they better give you a really good explanation. Because I sense that Libra is trying their absolute best to be as elated and happy and fulfilled and optimistic as possible. Like who isn't? Like, aren't we all, every sign of the zodiac, just trying to find the way and the thing that's just going to make us feel truly satisfied? And yet here's this emperor in your environment, in your sphere. Now normally I love a Queen of Swords emperor energy, and I don't really see that many negative cards coming out at all, but yet I still feel like you are trying to talk to a brick wall when I see the setup of these cards. I just kind of am seeing a stone wall effect. So this is, to jump off the reading, now the Emperor actually comes out twice, which you'll see. So that's why I'm kind of like hitting the Emperor a little bit hard there. Now, on the other hand, I think there are areas in your life that are going fantastically well. I think there are new initiatives that you're starting. For some of you, that's a hobby. For some of you, that is just, a new whatever, right? And it's going well. And you feel passionate about it. And that's great. That's where your energy needs to be. That's where the focus needs to be. Because all this little triggering, and sometimes we like to say like, no, it's good to get triggered because then you identify the parts of you that still need healing or whatever. I don't know. I don't know that getting triggered and like putting yourself specifically in a position to get triggered is really, it's neither here nor there. It's kind of like, what's the point at this point? I think more than anything, Libra really, really, really would just like to step into, and I'm going to go out of order in these cards. The very center of the 9 card block is the 10 of Cups. And this is what I'm saying. This is the optimism. This is looking forward to the future and feeling really grateful for everything that you have. So it's interesting that I am getting kind of a thorn in my paw type of vibe from the Emperor here, as though her hand out there is kind of like, yeah, tell me, like show me, and your sights are set on the best. Like you want the most solid and emotionally fulfilling and stable relationship that you can with a partner who understands the growth process, who is going to push you, but not just like push your buttons for the sake of pushing your buttons, but to help you grow, and who's also going to be there with you. Those of you who are trying to grow a business, like you don't just want a business for the money. You want a business to work with cool and amazing people and to help community members, or to actually make an impact in the world. And I sense a set of beautiful ideals coming from Libra that they just seem to not want to compromise on, which again is great. So when this particular person or situation arises in your life, I think there's this vibe of like, you're either like gonna be by my side or you got to get out of here. Like, don't you dare be my roadblock. I'm not gonna let you be my roadblock. And I think she is not afraid this month to wield her sword. She's not afraid to do that. Now, the Ten of Cups was in the very center of the block, so I'm going to go around in the square now. So the very first card that came out is the King of Wands. Directly underneath the King of Wands was the other Emperor card. So again, it's either one person or two different people, and she's over here. And the way I set up the cards, it's like she's looking at both of them. So there could be two people, or this Emperor could be the King of Wands, which again, normally I feel is like a great compatibility. It's a great match. There's a lot of productivity from a fire and air quality. This could be Aries, all right? I also often see the Emperor as being a Scorpio, a Capricorn, or a Cancer. This is a Leo card here, but we could also put Sagittarius in there too. So you could be dealing with one of those signs or someone with major placements in those signs. And right now, the fire energy is just not vibing well with you at all. Like, this is what I feel. This is like the ignition, like the spark that happens when fire and air come together. Just whew. And on one hand, they're a really good person. I don't think this is someone who's toxic. I don't think this is someone who is, narcissistic. Like, I just don't see that. I think this is a really amazing, genuine person with whom right now you seem to be wanting something from. And on one hand, like, here's the King of Wands looking at you too, but then he's like at a dead stop down here. So it's like, is he going to get up off his throne and come to you or not? And I'm wondering, Libra, if there's not an attitude toward this person or this thing of like, prove it. You want to be in my life? Prove it. You want to talk to me? Prove it. And the Emperor is someone that might not prove it, which could then, really set Libra off as well. What's interesting with this reading is that I don't necessarily see the emotional upheaval really, but I feel it. And when I'm looking at this, I'm like, she's definitely hitting up some kind of a roadblock. Someone seems to be stonewalling because he's directly in between. It goes Queen of Swords, Emperor, Ten of Cups. He's directly in between. And I think a Queen of Swords would love to have an Emperor by her side, to be her backing, to be her support, to be on her cheer team. But if they're not going to be by your side, then they're blocking you. And it's kind of black and white, either or, one way or the other. And I just don't know that Libra is going to put up with for very long. She's going to use her sword like a machete in the jungle and just cut that Emperor down. And see, one of the reasons why I'm riled up about the Emperor and the King of Wands is because directly underneath the Emperor is the five of coins. Like, why? How can you be an Emperor and come to the table with the Five of Coins too? I sense that this person is, I don't know, maybe there was a dialogue, clearly there's some kind of expression happening, and maybe there is some kind of dialogue, and maybe this person was hurt, maybe their ego got wounded, maybe they were emasculated or something like that, and now they're sitting, maybe they feel rejected, or maybe you feel rejected, or maybe you feel annoyed that the only thing they came to the table with was this Five of Coins, Maybe the only reason this person is coming to the table is because they failed somewhere else and they see solace with Libra. I don't know. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. But this Five of Coins represents a weakness of the Emperor. This Five of Coins represents that he may look solid on the surface, but deep down below, he's grasping. And I think he's operating from a place of scarcity. And I know that not everyone here is here for love. So, if there's something going on with a coworker or something like that, I mean, the issue goes much deeper than what you can see on the surface. And it's really, really, really hard to be compassionate when you feel like someone is stonewalling you, or when you feel like someone who has the potential to be great is not really living up to what they could be doing. And, it can just be really frustrating. Another reason why I'm kind of riled up about all of this is I think this person makes you lose your focus. And I think they're unfocused as well. And maybe you're being really, really sensitive. And I say sensitive, like empathic, your energy is just really absorbing a lot from them. And in a way, it's like you kind of are like them, or when they're around you, you kind of match their frequency very easily, because maybe there is just some kind of chemistry, and it doesn't always have to be the best kind of chemistry, like that annoying coworker that comes into your office and you can just feel your back tense up, like, yeah, that's chemistry, they've got an effect on you, what can you say? And so I feel like there's an unfocused nature in the area of your life where this person is represented. If it's work, you may be having a really hard time getting focused at work. I mean, let's not forget Neptune in the 6th house has been kicking our asses for a long time. And the focus and finishing projects and getting things done and, being inspired one minute and then like 2 weeks later being like, oh, I totally forgot I was even going to do that. That's all very Neptunian, but I think this person comes out and like kind of amplifies that sort of Neptune in 6th house kind of stuff. They also are feeling a slowdown in their productivity a little bit. Still, like I'm saying, like still a good person. I think they're warm-hearted, and I think they are genuine and sincere in terms of what they're conscious of. Unfortunately, though, the 5 of coins could be the subconscious driver that they just might not be very aware of. And there's just really not a lot you can do about that. It's not your responsibility to like point this out to them. It's just, they just got to deal with it when they can. Right next to the 8 of coins reverse, there's the 4 of swords, which is a card of taking a break. This is not a card of yielding or wielding your sword, It's not a card of aggression. It's a card of relaxation and meditation and reflection as well. I suspect this Emperor is someone who is on some level a soulmate, specifically to teach you something, to help you along your path, to push your evolution along. And when you can consciously take that step back, put your sword down for a minute and just, kind of say, okay, what is this really... How can I really handle this the best way possible? How can I chill out? Whatever. Meditate, do the breathing exercises, and just allow light. Because we're heading into eclipse season. We're heading into Saturn, Pluto, all happening in the 4th house. It is emotional. It is intense there for everybody, but you especially, because it's 4th house. It's really emotional stuff. So to separate yourself somehow from emotions, separate yourself somehow from anything that is confusing, so that you can then use the beautiful logical mind, the beautiful Libra air rationale to make sense of stuff. Make sense of this person's role in your life, make sense of how you can benefit from this ultimately, make sense of how you can still achieve and live into the 10 of Cups, which is the ultimate goal for all of us, which is just general happiness, and to not allow anyone to get in the way. And I suspect that Libra might be a little bit cutting with their words, with the Queen of Swords energy. It might be kind of harsh, which is totally not Libra's vibe. And I think you may be throwing people for a loop and confusing them a little bit too. And they're like, oh, wow, maybe I really messed up, or maybe I really should have listened. Because again, you're wanting to tell, but are they listening? They're not looking at you. On one hand, they are. And maybe it's confusing because maybe you think they're listening. Maybe you think they get it. You think they understand, but do they? I don't know. Hopefully. Hopefully the message gets across. Or gets across, rather. Hopefully the message gets across. And hopefully it gets absorbed. And hopefully everything and anything can be resolved. So then the only focus is the Ten of Cups. Right? Bottom row, right next to the Five of Coins is the Three of Swords. Again, another reason why I kind of was a little dramatic in the beginning. Three of Swords, where's the rejection here? Are you rejecting them? I think so. I think on some level you're the one pushing them away, or the one demanding this kind of explanation of why something happened or why something wasn't finished or whatever. And you might need to be the one that is the bearer of bad news, and the bad news has to come kind of as a price for this, because again, this is where the focus is, this is where you want to be, and this is locked in the very center of the reading. It's locked in, and these are the cards that are locking it in. So, and you'll see when I put the camera down what I mean, but you have to let someone down. Maybe this person is letting you down. That's okay. I think there's a level of acceptance on a Queen of Swords part. Like, it's okay. I'm okay with being let down. I'm okay with being disappointed, as long as it means that it clears my path to the Ten of Cups. But this person might not be so understanding. This person might not be so willing to accept the responsibility for their part of it either. An Emperor, if they're mature, which I'm seeing with the upright positions that they usually are someone that like owns up to it, right? They own up to whatever went wrong and whatever their part in it was. So hopefully they do. Because the very last card in the 9-card block we get is the Temperance card, which is very chill. Now, I'm not seeing cards of like union, so we'll see when we clarify everything. If there are cards of union, there are cards of communication, coming back together, resolution, and all of that. But really, this is more the vibe and the modality through which a resolution can occur. The more relaxed you are, the better this whole situation is going to be. Now, you can do harsh things in a relaxed manner. Whatever, maybe you have to block someone. That's kind of a harsh thing to get blocked. But it's also kind of mild at the same time. It could be a lot worse than that. So it's a kind of an interesting mixture of the extreme and the compassionate at the same time, which you as Libra, because you're constantly balancing these scales, that's something that you do very naturally. So getting the point across, but also being firm and unbending the way a Queen of Swords is. She's very unbending. Let's put the camera down. You'll see how the cards are situated, and we'll pull out the clarifiers. See you in a sec. Okay, Libra, let's take a look at this Queen of Swords. I'm going to pull a Psychic Tarot deck, or a card from the Psychic Tarot deck, rather. Let's see, what else do we need to know about your energy as the Queen of Swords specifically here? Transformation. Wherever, Libra, you have been soft, is no longer a time for you to be soft. See, the beautiful thing about this is how firm I feel you are being, even if it is at a risk, because I think there is some kind of a risk involved, a risk in pushing someone away or a risk in losing something. Although, I don't know, this Emperor doesn't really seem like he's going to go anywhere, and in a way it might shift the level of respect between the two of you in a good way. Like you're not just gonna sit there and stand for it. Now, I don't normally do this, but for this Emperor guy, I did want to pull out another Psychic Tarot for the Emperor specifically, and what we need to know about the particular environment in which you're in. heartache and loss. Well, Three of Swords, yeah, makes sense. I think this person really may have disappointed you. The situation may have really let you down, or maybe there was a failure. Maybe there was something that you were so hopeful for. This is what's hard about this reading, and I really had to sit with these cards for a minute because of the upright positioning here, and yet still, it's almost kind of like, and this is a little bit of a blame game, and I don't advocate doing this, but the story felt like Libra was looking at this Emperor and saying, well, if it wasn't for you, I would have this. And I know that that's so kind of a very generic thing and it won't speak to everybody, but that was just kind of the initial boom, knee-jerk reaction intuition that I had. You can see how that Ten of Cups is like really locked in there, you know, kind of landlocked, if you will. And every avenue to get there, you have to really do something. I'll tell you that the easiest avenue here is on this other side of it here. So through meditation, through relaxation, through, you know, if you're feeling hazy, if you're feeling like you can't make up your mind about something, then just simply don't. You know, this is kind of a message of surrender on this column. So to just surrender and to let the happiness come to you. So here we have here and now, very much about the present moment, acknowledging and, you know, honoring the feelings that are surfacing up inside of you on a moment-to-moment basis, honoring whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's feelings of rejection, and just like being like, yeah, this thing kind of makes me feel like crap, and, you know, and then you work on getting over it, and you do. It's all for the happiness. It's all for the sake of happiness. Ten of Cups. That's what it all is. All for the sake of happiness. And you cannot bend. You cannot bend on what you know is right for you. I don't see that this person is trying to push, like, they don't think you're a pushover. Like, they don't disrespect you in any way. But I think maybe there was something that happened that just kind of pushed boundaries a little bit. And you needed to assert yourself, and you needed to, you know, really, really put your foot down. Okay. For those of you who are new to my channel, the cards that I'm pulling now are for the comprehensive reading. The link will be down below. We'll talk for another 20 to 25 minutes about these cards that I pull out here. Man, that Knight of Coins has really been doing a number on these readings. He is all over the place, just coming out like this voice of reason. I would tell Libra to just like work really hard and, you know, put your head into your work. But I feel like with Libra, if you're not inspired to work, it's just hard to connect. It's hard to get busy. It's hard to get lost in productive things sometimes with that Neptune transit. Hopefully it's not affecting all of you, but I know that in private readings, it's been affecting a lot of people, not knowing what to do with their career and whatnot. So, okay. Okay, yeah. So there's the sudden boom that I was kind of saying. I was like, well, we don't really have any cards like that. Well, there it is, you know, Death, Devil, Tower. Okay, we're getting all the kind of the big ones here. I'm going to pull, okay, one more for that guy. Okay. He doesn't seem to want to turn over. He doesn't want to seem to change or to accept the changes. Maybe doesn't want to accept the changes in you. Man, you are going to have to fight for that Ten of Cups, man. I swear, you're going to have to fight for it a little bit. You're going to have to put up those fists and get a little bit dirty, you know? I know you're not, I know you haven't stopped believing that like that joy is for you. And I think many of you feel it a little bit, you know, throughout the day. Something happens, you feel good. You know, I know you feel it. It's just a matter of like capturing it and holding on to it. Was there a third party thing that happened for some of you? What was this card again? Three of Swords. Not liking that King of Swords reversed. Okay, and a couple more. Oops. Well, hold on. That's way too many. I know we saw those, but is that where that was? I don't even remember where this card was now. And for the Emperor, okay. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Wands. All right, lots to talk about here. So again, if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. The link will be down in the description box down below. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. Have an excellent holiday, and I will see you for the new year. Thanks so much. Take care.